Welcome back everybody to some retro modding news. There's not a ton this week, but I think there's some pretty interesting stories here. First off, let's talk about Analogue's announcement from last week. They announced something called Analogue OS, which it sounds like it's going to be the operating system that the Analogue Pocket is going to run. They tweeted a whole bunch about this, so maybe it's worth going through each one of the tweets and see if we can make some sense out of it. Analogue is claiming that Analogue OS is the definitive scholarly operating system for playing and experiencing the entire medium. I don't know what that means. Then they go on to say that you can explore, discover, and play through all of history, save your game at any moment from your cartridges. Does that mean that they're having save states? That's kind of cool. All right, FPGA, low latency, we get it. It says developers will be able to interface with Analogue OS. Maybe there's some kind of API that lets you access some of the stuff on the Pocket or the Analogue OS. That's kind of interesting. Then they talk about library, which is a reference level database. Maybe that's like a catalog of games. Search and explore through its full breadth, system by system, game by game, region by region, developer by developer. Don't know what that means. Maybe they have catalogs of all the games that are supported on the Pocket. This is pretty cool. This is like a grid view of maybe all the games that can run for each system. And you can create and share playlists of games. That's kind of cool. Memories, save states, screenshots, save and capture whenever you want, even at the same time. Oh, maybe that means that you'll be able to capture video and save screenshots while you're playing. That'd be good for content creators if you wanted to play through a game and record it. This is kind of cool. I think they announced this already, but this is a little dock that lets you connect the Pocket to a TV. So effectively consoleizing an FPGA, but it's kind of like the Switch, right? You can play it in handheld mode, or you can dock it and play it on your TV. And you can use 8-bit do Bluetooth 2.4G controllers. Next gen controller. Unique features per game. Maybe it allows you to save weird stuff like palettes for different consoles. And then they mentioned that some stuff is not going to be available with the first release of Analogue OS. That's kind of the end of what they talked about. That's kind of nebulous. It just kind of was a big rant about all these features that the Analogue OS has. And as you can see, there were a bunch of people that were very confused about what this was. Honestly, even though the Pocket isn't even out yet, I think it's a really interesting console, especially when you have the dock system where you can hook it up to your TV. A Pocket seems really appealing if it ever gets delivered. And speaking of nebulous UI stories, Mike Chi announced something he's calling Tink UI, making fun of Analogue OS, but it looks like some sort of a larger OSD for the Retrotank 5X Pro. Right now you have to cycle through these settings using this little remote, but if you could just have an OSD and navigate it that way to change settings, I think that's really good added functionality to the Retrotank 5X Pro. He's saying it's going to be a huge overhaul of the system. I guess the Retrotank 5X Pro is getting a new firmware update that's going to introduce a whole bunch of features. So maybe inadvertently Analogue kind of sparked something in Mike, or maybe it was just a coincidence, but I'm looking forward to this. Next, I saw a tweet from Woozle, which was a screenshot from a NeoGeo Pocket Color consolizer menu. I don't have any experience with the NeoGeo Pocket Color, but if it's an excuse to try a new console and do a new mod from Woozle, then I'm really excited about that. Next, I wanted to shout out Fragol Roc again. He was showing off a drill guide for doing the NESRGB multi-out. This drill guide is kind of similar to the DC Digital drill guide, where you put this thing on the console and then you can drill holes in the back of the case so that you can have an easier time cutting out the hole where the multi-out is going to go. So if you haven't yet done an NESRGB with a multi-out, then this will probably save you some time. And last but not least, I don't know how many of you guys are going to care about this, but dbrand was actually ordered by Sony to stop selling their Darkplates, which are the side plates that go on a PlayStation 5. However, the dbrand user on Reddit posted this giant thread on Reddit about how they re-released the Darkplates but just changed them a little bit. They added fan holes here, and they actually cut off the corner of the top here. And they announced new colors too, so now you can get white Darkplates and also gray. They're saying it's color matched to a retro console that shall remain nameless, but I think it looks like a PlayStation 1. So these are PlayStation 1 matched plates for your PlayStation 5. So I don't know, if you somehow magically got a PlayStation 5 and you're interested in getting some Darkplates, these seem really cool. That's it for this week. If you want to share a news story with me, go ahead and follow me on Twitter or join the Discord. I'll see you in the next video.